Teslacam. I hope you're satisfied.
Mitchell was driving home from work in Baltimore, Maryland when he noticed a semi-truck change lanes, then change back. When the semi returned to the left lane, another semi-truck blocked them from accelerating. The semi then turned, lost control, and ended up sideways, pushing a car across the road and into a barrier. It turned out that the semi-truck that had blocked the left lane had slowed down for a police officer who'd stopped to help a motorist broken down in the left lane. Luckily, everyone involved was okay, but we're guessing that truck driver had some explaining to do. What do you think? Who was at fault here? Let us know in a comment. Before we roll the next clip, only 22.3% of you are subscribed. What's the big idea? Aren't you satisfied? The guy in this next clip is definitely satisfied. Just watch. Ben was driving his Model 3 in Markham, Ontario when he got stuck behind a guy trying to perform an illegal U-turn and impeding traffic. Ben honked, so the other driver got out of his car and smacked Ben's car window. He also tried to open the Tesla's door. Ben says he was screaming and very aggressive. We actually posted this video on Twitter, along with a comment that there's been a lot on the news lately about how dangerous Tesla door handles supposedly are. But nobody ever talks about how great it is to have hidden door handles when a road rager approaches your car. Guess what? The man himself, Elon Musk, liked our tweet. The clip then got over 1.5 million views. Well, now we know he's watching. Hi, Elon. We're glad you're satisfied. Lee was driving his Model Y in Gwinnett, Pennsylvania. He was stopped at a red light when a Ford pulled up on his left. A passenger jumped out of the Ford and started dancing. We're just wondering if this was done as a show for Lee's Teslacam, or maybe the Model 3's in front of him. Actually, his daughter told him this is some sort of TikTok dance challenge. I guess the whole world doesn't revolve around Teslacam after all. Tony works for a gym in Stouffville, Ontario. After getting off work, he checked his Sentry mode clips as usual, and one clip showed this BMW driver flexing his muscles right next to his car. He eventually realized that Sentry mode was watching and the side camera was recording, so then he flexed his muscles directly at the camera. Tony says he wasn't impressed. Speaking of BMW drivers, it's hilarious that the official BMW USA Twitter page just posted a statement to their drivers to use your blinkers. I wonder where that came from. They then got a lot of jokes and memes as replies to that tweet, so they had to follow it up with this tweet stating that BMW drivers are the best on the road. Let us know in the comments if you agree. Paul was driving his Model Y long range in Erie, Colorado. As he was pulling up to a red light, he noticed a very unique pair of headlights coming up behind him. He instantly recognized the lights of a Rivian R1T and decided he wanted to race it. They honked to each other, and when the light turned green, they both slammed their juice pedals. The Rivian destroyed the Tesla, and Paul says he's amazed that the electric pickup truck was so fast. This submitter was driving his Model Y with autopilot engaged when a Ford Focus came up from behind and rammed into him while cutting him off. The other driver then took off. The submitter tried to follow him, but the speeds got too dangerous, so he backed off. He filed a police report, and the cops were able to track down the owner of the car. Unfortunately, they couldn't prosecute him as his face can't be seen in the video. The submitter made a claim with Tesla Insurance, and they waived his deductible since the person who hit him didn't have insurance. The repair bill will be about $3,500 US. Winston and Charlie were driving to breakfast in Kalispell, Montana when they stopped for a pedestrian crossing the street. A Subaru driver behind them failed to notice the bright red car stopped in front of them. They obviously weren't paying attention, swerving before impact and never even trying to hit their brakes. The police made a report, and the cop said that he'd seen lots of accidents, including ones where cars had rolled completely over, but he'd never seen all the airbags in a car deploy like they had in the Outback. Jake had just picked up his brand new Model 3. He and his girlfriend were driving down the road laughing at the SUV bouncing in front of them. All of a sudden, a work van merged into his lane. He had autopilot activated, but he manually reacted to the incident as well. Eric was driving northbound along Route 75 in Melissa, Texas, when all of a sudden a truck rolled coal on him and another Model 3. With gas prices being so high, I guess the pickup drivers are trying to get more value out of rolling coal by hitting more than one Tesla at a time. Frank was heading home after dinner with his wife when another driver cut them off and rolled coal on them. It was a nice day, so Frank had his windows rolled down and had to quickly roll them up when this happened. Frank's still not sure if the guy rolled coal on purpose or if he'd accelerated and spun his rear tires. When they pulled up to the light, Frank noticed he also had a young kid in the passenger seat not wearing a seatbelt. Mike was driving his Model 3 in Canberra, Australia, when he encountered a car driving the wrong way. Seconds later, he saw a police car chasing it, but it was on the correct side of the road. Gabriel was headed into Los Angeles for brunch, and there happened to be road construction. All of a sudden, a driver who'd obviously ignored the freeway entrance closure got on the freeway. The lane he had to merge onto was new asphalt and hadn't been compressed yet. His wheels dug into the asphalt, and he was lucky he didn't lose control of his vehicle. Looks like Caltrans will have to repave that section again. Brendan was driving home from work one day when a work truck passed him on his left. It looked like a bag of dry concrete mix spilled over the side of the truck and all over his Model 3 and the other surrounding cars. When Brendan got home and inspected his footage, he discovered that the debris had actually come out of the front wheel well of the truck. It must have been dirt buildup that got knocked loose as the truck went over a bump in the road. Brendan wants to give a shout out to his girlfriend Katie. They discovered the Wham Bam channel during quarantine and have since watched every single video. This channel was also a big part of why he got a Tesla of his own. Maybe that's why Elon likes our show. We're selling his cars after all. This family was cruising. Oh, I see, the submitter's name is Family Cruising. Oh well, they were cruising in their Model X on a road trip from Chicago to Orlando for a family vacation. On the second day of their road trip to Disney, they ran over a chunk of semi-tire which caused $3,000 in damage to their Tesla. Autopilot was engaged, but it didn't avoid the piece of tire. Kyle was headed home on I-580 to the Bay Area after a vacation in Los Angeles when he spotted a Tesla Semi in the wild. When Kyle first passed it, he had no clue it was a Tesla Semi. He only realized it when he merged into the right lane and saw the driver centered in the cockpit in his rearview mirror. We are so pumped to get Teslacam footage from these trucks. Hopefully Alex from the Tesla Semi team sends us an anonymous email with some footage soon. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, if you don't subscribe, you'll get Honda bumped this week. That's not a threat, just a prediction.